It's just like...
Good evening and welcome to another episode of the Beaver Sports Show. I'm Jake McGrady.
I'm Jenna Lade.
And I'm Josh Warden. Thanks for joining us. Tonight we're going to recap yesterday's men's basketball game against Portland, Friday's soccer game against California, and OSU's upcoming football game against Arizona State.
It was a tough day for the Beavers, who fell with a 0-3 loss against California at Paul Lorenz Field on Friday.
Sophomore Matt Bersano had an impressive 10-save tally throughout the match, but unfortunately it wasn't enough to save the Beavs through the second half, where Cal's 3 goals got them the win.
Oregon State was very aggressive offensively, but Cal bounced back and scored 2 goals in counterattack situations.
Yeah, so what did you guys think of the soccer game?
There's been a lot of playmakers this year. This was the last game in the regular season.
Yeah,
they've had some good wins this year, just couldn't pull this one out against Cal.
What I was actually impressed with, what I said earlier, Matt Bersano, the sophomore goalie, he had 10 saves throughout the first half. So it was 0-0 going into halftime. The Beavs did a great job the first half, but second half, Cal came out scoring. They shot like crazy. If you look at the silver lining, though, he did have 12 saves. Which is technically second on Oregon State's overall most goals saved. So if you want to look at that,
yeah. Couldn't win.
Something good to look at.
Something good.
There you go. And not to mention the nice jerseys too, pulling out this year. I like those.
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely. So over 3,000 fans came out to cheer the Oregon State men's basketball team as they took on U of P with a 79-73 sweep at Gill Coliseum last night.
Roberto Nelson scored a game high of 24 points out of 79 for the game, adding up to a total of 19 consecutive games with double-digit points. Angus Bryant also showed some scoring prowess with a total of 13 points and 10 rebounds for the game. So, I thought it was a really good game. Roberto Nelson did really good. 14 of the 24 points that he scored were in the second half. Devon Collier also did a really good job coming out from his suspension with 11 points, 11 rebounds. 2 freshmen and sophomore Daniel Gomez all scored their first points for Oregon State, which was awesome, and they opened up with really great defense.
Yeah, I think it was a lot more spread out this game. In that opening loss to Coppin State, there were only 5 different players who scored. Against Portland, though, there were 10 different Beavers who scored just in the first half. And coming off the bench, I think the player who impressed me most was Hallis Cook, who's one of the freshman guards coming in. It's been kind of the case where one of the guards kind of complements Nelson in each game. Against Concordia a couple games ago, it was Malcolm DeVivier, and he added 17 points. This game, it was Hallis Cook coming up big.
Yeah, I agree with you. But Nelson's obviously the Batman of the team. Just to be corny, but he needs a Robin. But Hallis really impressed me last night. He had a few really energetic fast break plays that were really impressive. Devon was coming off his suspension, 11-11, double-double. He did great in the paint. So I think we're going to step it up in several levels, when Eric comes back in about 13 games from now. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
We got the pieces. We'll see what happens.
I like it. Well, for some of us, sports run in our blood. There's a passion for it that's a little hard to explain. But for the people who are a little less sports inclined, we try to figure out exactly what goes through the mind of a sports super fan.
Correspondents Katie and Amber set out to do just that and came out on the other side with some pretty awesome footage. Take a look.
Hello everyone, I'm Katie Beasley. I'm here with Mark Ulbrich, a Oregon State student and acclaimed superfan. Tell me a little bit about yourself, Mark.
I am a third-year student here at Oregon State, and I am currently majoring in athletic training.
What is everyday life for you?
Well, everyday life for me starts out right when I wake up. My alarm on my phone is the fight song. It brightens my day when I can wake up to the fight song, and it just gets me kind of pumped for the day.
So, how do you feel when the Beavers lose?
Not good, ever. I am normally in a bad mood, always.
A little grumpy?
Yeah, very grumpy. I probably struggle with my relationships with friends, family, and my girlfriend when there's a loss. Also, depending on who it is.
Oh no.
If you lose to the Ducks, it's probably quite worse.
Do you get emotional about it?
Yes. A great example was last year when the football team was undefeated and we lost to Washington. I didn't handle it too well. I'm going to admit right now I broke down into tears, but, it's just, I cared.
You're a true fan at heart there.
Yeah.
Well then, how do you feel when they win?
When I win, it's probably the greatest feeling in the world. There's just a plethora of happiness going on. There's nothing better than a Beaver win.
So, what's your favorite Beaver sports team and why?
My favorite Beaver sports team is the men's basketball team. I schedule my work schedule around to where I can go to the men's basketball games. I can go to every one, watch all of them. I'm a huge basketball fan in general. There's just nothing better than going down to Gill Coliseum and watching a basketball game.
So earlier you told me I couldn't talk to you till later tonight, but because you had class. But where exactly were you?
I was at the game, the basketball game. We played Portland and we came out with the W, so I'm in a better mood so far.
All right. So I see you have a flag here. Can you tell me a little about this?
Yes, my flag. I got this my freshman year here. Me and a buddy decided we would go down to Matthew Knight Arena for the men's Civil War. This is where we debuted it, and the Beavs ended up coming back for a win. And so last year, the tradition started with my flag. A buddy went to the BYU-Oregon State football game at BYU, and I told him, hey, you got to take my flag. He took it, and we ended up winning the game. And so anytime I know someone's going to an away game, I have to let them take the flag because a different guy went down to the Cal game this year at Berkeley, took the flag, and won. So we are 3-0 when the flag is there, and I like to keep it going as much as possible.
So this is going to be a tradition for while you're in school or for life?
For life, definitely.
So what do you think about this upcoming game against ASU?
Well, ASU is a tough team. They've really improved, but this one's going to actually hit home a little bit as my sister graduated from Arizona State. So I'm really hoping for a win so I can call her up and start bragging, get some bragging rights to her.
And then how do you feel about Coach Riley?
Coach Riley is a great coach. He does the best he can with what he has, and he gets us winning seasons into those bowl games.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
So how about those Christmas decorations already?
'Tis the season. What can you say?
I guess
He was
so.
decked out over there. But yeah, so we're coming to the end of the show tonight. But before we go, why don't we take a look at Saturday's game in Tempe against Arizona State? What do you guys have for that? What do you think?
Well, I definitely think it's going to be an Oregon State win.
Okay.
Right now, ASU is 7-2, Oregon State 6-3. Arizona State has lost for the last 5 games against Oregon State, so I really think it's in our favor. Beavers have been doing really good on the road. Right now, they're 4-0, so they're undefeated on the road, and they're averaging 46.5 points, which is awesome. And also, Coach Riley is really optimistic about it. He thinks that the team's going to bounce back, and he thinks they're going to do great.
Yeah, I think especially coming off the bye week, if any coach is going to get them ready, then it's going to be Mike Riley. And you look at Arizona State, they're pretty potent offensively. Their quarterback, Taylor Kelly, is pretty mobile. He has 20 touchdowns combined running and throwing in the last 5 games. And then the running back, Marion Grice, also really solid. He led the nation in scoring for almost the entire season, tied right now for second. But they got a couple playmakers offensively.
So what do you see? What's your final prediction?
My prediction, I'm gonna go a little high scoring. I think both teams can put up some points. I'm gonna go 35-27 in favor of Oregon State.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you. I think it's going to be a shootout right from the beginning. Honestly, I think there's going to be little margin for error on both sides of the ball. Arizona's front seven has impressed me, but not to the point where they're completely daunting. I think there's cracks in their armor in some areas of their defense, if not their front seven in most part. So I think it's going to be a high-scoring game right off the bat. I think coming off this bye week, Sean Mannion's got some stuff that he's been working on. And Coach Riley, I've been watching some interviews. He's pretty optimistic. There's some new things they have up their sleeve. And it obviously helps that Hamlet and Smith are going to be on the field for the first time since like October 12th.
Yeah, those tight ends are big, and they're writing up stuff for Brandon Cooks, I think. I mean, if they give him the ball, they can be in good shape.
Tight ends are going to improve the red zone.
Yeah,
offense,
and those screens in there, I mean, Connor Hamlin is huge.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, the Beavers are perfect in the red zone until that Colorado game. A couple of the tight ends got hurt. So it hasn't been quite as good since then. We got the tight ends healthy now. That could be big.
It's going to be a big step up on defense too, but I take high 30s, 31-28 Beavs. I'm going to Beavs.
38-21.
So we'll see what happens on Tempe, you know.
Yeah.
All right.
It's going to be good.
And you guys can catch the game action as OSU takes on Arizona State Saturday at 6:30 on ESPNU.
Well, that's all the time we have for tonight. I'm Jake McGrady.
I'm Josh Warden.
And I'm Jenna Wade. Thanks for joining us, and have a great night.